Okay, Coach, we're going to run you through a tutorial here on how to make a set of sheaths, and this will be your final product when you get done. All right, you're going to need these items here to start off with: a cutting board. We get our fancy ones from Walmart, and they're like meat cutting type. You need a layout pen, hole cutter, hole punch, number 4 edger, and your hook bill knife for laying out a pattern. If you don't have a pattern, we can make you one, and with the holes already set in it, numbered sides so you know which way it's flipping to make the complete set. All right, we'll move on to the next step.
Go.
All right, the key is to lay out your pattern where you have the least amount of waste. So you're gonna move and shift it around, and then we'll nest all the pieces together down through here and make 4 individual pieces. I just use a regular ink pen to lay it out. I lay it out on the back so that if you have any oopses, you can hide them and it won't show up on the front of your finished product. We'll just outline the whole pattern, marking the holes too. And we'll do that for all 4 sides of the pattern. What I do is I number the pattern so that as I flip it, that's a number 1, so I'm gonna put a number 1 here hidden inside the body of the sheath, and then we'll do a number 2. Same kind of layout. We're gonna try to reduce the waste as much as possible, and we're gonna continue this for all 4 pieces. This will be our number 3, number 4 as we go down through here. Okay, we'll go on to the next step.
Go.
So there's our 4 pieces laid out and numbered. Holes are marked, and we can move on to the next step.
Go.
All right, we're going to use our hook bill knife to cut our pattern. So we're just going to stay right on the line and go all the way around each one of these and cut them out. After we've done that, then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, our next step is we're going to use our number 4 edger, and we're going to go around on the back side, which is the inside of the sheath. We're only going to go partially. The open side is what we're going to edge on the inside. So we only go as far as between the rivet holes on the inside of the sheath. You want to try to make this a nice smooth action, and that way it leaves a nice finished edge for you when you get done. Sometimes it takes a little pass or 2 passes over top of it. And we'll flip it over, go around the whole outside edge. We're cutting off like a half a round off the outside of the edge of it, beveling the outer edge of the leather to make it more finished. It gives it a finished look. It helps it wear better too. It keeps the rough edge off. So we'll go around all 4 pieces and do that process. And we'll move on to the next step.
Okay, paused.
Okay, this being the side with the snap and the tab, we're going to go all the way around the outside of it, including the tab, back again. So it's always between the rivets that we do the inside edge.
1.
Okay, our next step is going to be to punch the holes in the sheath. On the one side, you can pick whatever side you want. It doesn't really matter. We're going to use the number 5 hole, and that is for the main shaft of the rivet. The cap will get a number 4 hole, which is just a little bit bigger, and it makes this cap set down in the leather. So we'll go through and we'll punch all of our holes all the way around, and we'll hold off punching the hole for the snap yet.
One.
Okay, now that I've punched those holes in for the main shaft of the rivet, we're going to change to the number 4 hole and go around the other half of the sheath. And this is a little bit bigger hole to make the cap of the rivet set down onto the shaft, and it makes the setting of the rivet easier, and it gives it a smoother finish when you get done. So we'll go all the way around here, setting our holes, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, now we'll shift to the number 3 hole for the snaps. This one's marked on our pattern. The other side, I usually don't punch it and finish it until I've put the whole sheath together, and then I know that where I want to set this is going to be exactly in the right spot. If you want to feel bold about it, you can go like this, line up your holes, flip it over, and guess. But I'd rather wait till I put this piece in, then I can snap it over like this. It'll leave a mark for me here on the inside where the center of the rivet is, or the center of the snap is. Then I'll punch my hole. So what we do is, after we got all 4 of our pieces, you'll see that I already got half of the snaps in on these, but we use mineral oil, and we oil all 4 pieces before we put them together, and that makes it a lot easier. Lay them out on a piece of cardboard, take a small brush, paint them on pretty heavy, and let it soak in for a little bit. What we do is we put our rivets in one of these little organizers. Get it at the Walmart or wherever, the convenience store you have closest, and it separates out our rivets and our snaps and keeps it a little more organized. And then we'll go through, pick out the 2 halves of the snap that we need, which is the inside of the 1 half, which is flat on the back. Okay, it doesn't have the rounded cap front. That's our bottom for the inside, and if you do that now, it's a little bit easier to put it on than after you put it together. And then the other half that we need for it is this one here. I'll call the male end, so to speak, and then those 2 will go together.
One.
So what we got here is we got our 2 halves of the press. I'm not sure if you folks are using the press or not, but the anvil always goes on the bottom, and then the setter goes up onto the top. Set those in, tighten them down loose, not too tight, just enough. Then we'll bring our sheath over that came apart slowly. Put it in the anvil. Bring the handle down. Give it a good crunch. Feel it, and then we're set. Okay, and that's the first half. Our next step will be putting the rivets in and setting them. So we'll set our press up with the medium double cap rivet setter. Okay, we're going to take and set all of our rivets in the first hole that we punched, and we'll go around. We set all these in all the way around the edge of it. Okay, you'll see that we got them all set in. Posts are all protruding all through the back side, and that way it makes it easier for us just to set this on and set our caps on. Okay, now you can see we got both sides on, the caps on this side and the other side of the rivet here with that 1 half of the snap. Now we'll go ahead and go through and set these rivets. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and set the rivets. We're going to put the caps up. When we put it in the setter, get it centered, push down, gives us a nice beautiful set, nice and even on both sides. We'll go through and do each one of these. Okay, so now that we've got this done, we've got all the rivets set. Our final step will be to lay this over where it's going to fit. Give it a little smash with the finger and you'll see that it has a perfect indentation. We'll take our hole punch, go right to the center of that and punch our hole, and we're ready for the final half of the snap. Okay, and for the final half of the snap, this is the two pieces we use in the press. The anvil, which has this indentation where the shiny cap goes down in to protect it as you're setting the top half of it. Set the post through. Set the cap on. This is the one with the spring inside it for the snap. And there we have it. Finished product. Edges are smoothed down, beveled. Rivets are all set. Tested a little bit. Everything looks like it's going to stay together. All right. There you go, Coach. You've just done your first set of sheaths.